solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the whole truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you may be seated.
Thank you.
Mr. Odell, could you please state your name and spell it for the record?
Yes, James Odell, J-A-M-E-S, Odell, capital O, apostrophe, capital D-E-L-L.
By whom are you employed and what are your responsibilities?
I'm employed by the Public Utilities Commission of Ohio. I am a Utility Specialist 3, working primarily on power siting applications.
Your Honor, I would like to mark the pre-filed testimony of James Odell document on October 28th as staff exhibit 13.
It is so marked.
Thank you.
Right here.
Yes.
Do you recognize this document, Mr. Odell?
Yes,
And what is this document?
this is my pre-filed testimony.
And was this prepared by you or under your direction?
Yes,
Do you have any changes or corrections to make to this document today?
I do not.
And if I were to ask you the questions contained in staff exhibit 13, would your answers be the same?
Yes, they would.
Your Honor, I'd like to move staff exhibit 13 into evidence, subject to cross-examination.
Thank you, Ms. Barron. Mr. Karen, questions?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Devine?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Just to let you know, sir, my hearing's declined a little bit lately. I need to get some hearing aids, so,
If you can't hear me, let me know.
yes, sir, thank you.
How many state, local, or federal parks are located within the proposed project area?
I believe, if I could reference the staff report, I've answered that question. My knowledge is there's no federal or state, but there is a local county park, I believe.
And which park is that?
I don't recall the name of it, sir. I think it might be well, I don't recall the name for sure, sir.
Would the name of that park be in the staff report?
I don't think we specifically named that park.
Okay. In your testimony, page 2, line 20, you reference conducting site visits to the proposed facility location.
Yes, sir.
Did you visit Bowen Nature Preserve when you did your site visits?
No, sir, I did not visit that specific park, sir.
Did you visit any parks?
No, sir, we didn't. I toured the area, but did not recall going into any specific park, sir.
And that same question, line 21, after the comma, you have acquiring additional information from the applicant. Did you acquire any additional information from the applicant related to parks in the project area?
Not that park, sir.
You indicate you obtained input from state agencies. Did
Yes.
Did you get any input from county agencies?
No, sir.
Did you get input from any local form of government, whether it be a municipality or a township?
No, sir, other than what might be in the docket or whatever comments they might make.
So you're familiar with information that's in the docket?
Somewhat.
Did you see the proposed testimony of Sarah Betts from the Seneca County Park District?
Objection, Your Honor. Mrs. Ben's testimony was not submitted in this case. There was a supplemental witness, Mr. McAllister. To the extent that there's questions asking about testimony that has been drawn, that's objection.
My question was whether he knew somebody from the Park District filed something on October 28th indicating issues with the project. I'm not going to ask you specifics about what what she said, but my question is in general about he knew somebody had concerns.
Based on that clarification, you may answer the question to the extent you know, Mr. Odell.
Yes, there is information in the docket. I don't recall the specifics of it at the moment here. There is information from that person, I believe.
Did you review the testimony of Mr. McAllister from the Seneca County Park District?
I have not reviewed that.
Is Seneca County Park District Exhibit 1 in front of you there, sir? It would be a color image that was out earlier.
This one?
Yeah.
I'm gonna hang on to my copy.
I do not see it in front of me, sir.
I think Ms. Bear is delivering a copy. Thank you, Ms. Bear.
Thank you. Do you recognize what's depicted in Seneca County Park District Exhibit 1?
Yes, I've seen this document, sir.
And do you have the staff report in front of you, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Could you flip to the map that is on the page after page 8 in the staff report?
What page again, sir?
If you go to page 8, the next page, there's a map. It's labeled overview map.
Map page 8, yes, sir.
Are you familiar with the overview map depicted on page 8 of the staff report?
I don't think you're looking, are you looking at this map?
Yes.
Okay, so go to page 8 of the staff report.
I'm not sure what, is that map page 1? No, it's not. It's,
Go to page 8 of the staff report, not the maps.
Just a second, please. I have page 8.
And that's the map there.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Uh-huh.
okay. Are you familiar with, Your Honor, could you help me with, it's not page 9, and it's not map page 1. How do I describe this page?
We'll just call it the unmarked map after page 8.
Are you familiar with the unmarked map after page 8 of the staff report, sir?
Yes, I'm generally familiar. It's a large area covered, yes.
Okay. Well, you're familiar that the map depicts the project area for the Republic Wind project.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you able to tell us on the unmarked page after page 8 of the staff report where Bowen Nature Preserve would be located on that map?
No, sir, it's not identified. It's a very small scale map.
Okay. Are you able to, looking at map page 1 through 10, find where Bowen Nature Preserve would be located?
Those features, this feature is not specifically identified on this map as, I believe, none parks or there's vegetation, roads, things of that nature, township roads, turbine locations, but I don't believe this is specifically called out in the map.
And you don't have any knowledge, based on your involvement in this case, where Bowen Nature Preserve would be in relationship to the map?
I can't tell you specifically, sir. It's just
Can
it's a
you-
smaller park.
Can you tell me in general?
No, sir, I can't tell you where it's at.
Did you have any contact with anybody from the Seneca County Park District?
No, sir.
Did you visit the Seneca County Park District website?
No, sir.
You're familiar with the visual impact assessment that was filed on December 26, 2018 as part of the amended application?
Yes, sir.
Does the visual impact assessment mention Bowen Nature Preserve at all?
I don't have a specific recollection of that, sir.
Does it mention, if you recall, Clinton Nature Preserve?
Not to my knowledge.
What about Steyer Nature Preserve?
No, sir.
Do you have Exhibit AA available in front of you?
What, is this part of the application?
Yes,
And it's exhibit AA.
AA.
So it would be exhibit A of exhibit 1 in this proceeding.
Correct.
If you'll give me a moment to locate it.
Sure.
He's got the AA to the December 2009.
It's a double A, sir, from December of 2018, visual impact analysis,
Yes.
or it's a, excuse me, assessment.
It's after C, right? That's the,
I have it.
If you could go to page 30.
Yes, sir.
On the first full paragraph, it starts with, sites that are part of the Seneca County Park District were also visited and photographed, including the Clinton and Steyer Nature Preserves. Field review ruled out visibility from the Clinton Nature Preserve, but could not rule out the possibility of open views of project turbines from the Steyer Nature Preserve. Do you see that language?
Yes, sir.
To your knowledge, is Clinton or Steyer Nature Preserve within the project area for the Republic Wind project?
I do not know, sir.
Did I understand your earlier testimony that you believe Bowen Nature Preserve is within the project area?
I reviewed that and I believe it to be true.
Do you have any concerns that the visual impact assessment as it relates to Seneca County parks visited and photographed from 2 parks that are not part of the project area and excluded one that is within the project area?
Concerns as to how, sir?
As to your testimony, as to the impact this will have to the aesthetics of the area.
These are relatively small parks in general compared to the full scope of that application. There will be turbines visible at different points throughout the entire project area. And I would expect this to be visible from, for example, the Bowen part that you discussed earlier.
How many turbines are going to be visible from Bowen Nature Preserve in your determination?
I can't tell you the exact number, sir, but just referencing this here with the scale, could be a half a dozen, it could be more. They will be visible.
From your perspective, what distance from an unobstructed view will be visible for a turbine?
That would depend on a great many factors such as terrain, vegetation, obviously the viewer's ability to physically see those, intervening objects, things of that nature.
And you did not set foot on Bowen to make any type of determination as to whether any of these proposed turbines would be visible from Bowen, correct?
No, sir, I didn't, because I expected them to be visible, just like I expected the turbines to be visible at many locations throughout the project.
How many turbines need to be visible before it causes you concern regarding the aesthetics of the project?
Aesthetics are highly subjective, always dependent upon the user. We would make a general statement, as I've in the staff report, about, for example, the character of the nature being a rural area, the limited number of viewers, perhaps intervening objects, things of that nature, but they will be visible throughout the project area. It is one impact that the board would have to weigh along with many other impacts.
And you don't think it's part of your job or somebody from staff to actually go to the park that's in the area to take a look?
Sir, it's a very large park, covers many square miles. Staff will do its best to assess the overall impacts, but in general, when you're looking at land use impacts or aesthetic impacts, you're making an assessment about what those impacts generally would be. Clearly, as I've said, and I'm sure many other folks have testified, they're large structures, they will be visible.
Where did you visit when you went to Seneca County?
We toured most of the project locations, or turbine locations, many of the back roads, and throughout the general vicinity of the whole project.
Did you go to the city of Tiffin?
Yes, sir.
Did you go to specific locations within the city of Tiffin as it relates to observations you wanted to make regarding the location of the wind turbines?
No, sir, but like any city, there'd be more objects likely to intervene between the turbines and the potential viewer.
How long were you in Seneca County?
5 or 6 visits, perhaps.
And total time in Seneca County?
I couldn't say with specificity, but I would. $40 hours, perhaps, over those visits. It's hard to say, sir.
Did you ever stop at the Park District office?
I did not, sir.
Did you ever speak with anybody from the Seneca County Park District?
I did not.
Do you agree with the statement that scenic quality and viewer sensitivity in park areas are relatively high due to their natural character and recreational use they receive?
Do you have a reference?
Reading this.
It's in part from 8A, page 18, I believe. Page 18,
Page 18 and
the last sentence of the first paragraph.
last sentences. Yes, sir, I agree with that.
To your knowledge, did anybody, I'm sorry, to your knowledge, did anybody from Ohio Power Siting Board staff visit any Seneca County park?
It is quite possible some of our ecological folks may have done that, but I have no direct knowledge of that.
Going back to Seneca County Park District Exhibit 1.
Map, sir?
Yes.
Okay.
Does that fairly and accurately reflect the proposed turbine locations as it relates to Bowen Nature Preserve?
So that's my knowledge.
You still have Exhibit AA from the December 26, 2018 application in front of you?
Yes, sir.
In that first full paragraph,
On page 18?
I'm sorry, on page 30.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right.
The visual impact assessment used a wireframe simulation, according to the report.
Okay.
Do you know what a wireframe simulation is?
I do not.
And that simulation, whatever it is, confirmed views to be completely screened from the main parking areas, trailheads, and trail network, correct?
Let me read that, sir.
Okay. Well, actually, why don't you read the rest of that paragraph for me?
Starting in 2, evaluate.
Sure.
To evaluate potential visibility from this resource, a wireframe simulation was produced that confirmed that views would be completely screened from the main parking areas, trailheads, and trail network. See Appendix F. Open views with potential turbine visibility were determined to be available from the Hunter's parking lot and nearby trails, which are located approximately 3.5 miles from the nearest proposed turbine.
As it relates to that part of the report, that's referencing views from Bowen Nature Preserve, correct?
It appears so.
There's no evaluation in this section or any section of the visual impact assessment regarding Bowen Nature Preserve, correct?
I don't recall ever seeing that, sir. That's correct.
I have no further questions.
Any questions?
No.
Questions? Okay. Mr. Adjudicatory Hearing. 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 Mr. Adjudicatory
I had a clarifying question. With respect to Park District Exhibit 1,
Yes, sir.
you made a general reference about the number of turbines that are visible from the Bowen Nature Preserve when you were looking at that document.
Correct.
Have you ever seen that document before?
Well, I've seen the document, yes, I've seen it, it was filed, I've seen it.
Okay, and do you know who prepared that document?
Say again, sir?
Do you know who prepared that document?
I do not, I assume it's the Seneca County Park folks, or the Park District folks, this would be my assumption, but
You don't know who prepared that
I do
document?
not.
Okay. The turbines that are on that document, do you know if those locations are accurately reflect the distances from Nature Preserve?
I would have to depend on one of our engineers to tell me whether those locations were accurate. I can't tell you.
So you have no idea whether or not those locations are accurate?
I'm gonna object, Your Honor, he's already testified, he thought it was generally accurate.
You don't know if that's accurate?
I do not know, I can't verify the authenticity, easy for me to say, of the specific locations of those turbines.
And you don't know if that accurately reflects the number of turbines that may be?
No, sir.
So when you indicated, so you can't say that that fairly or accurately represents anything?
I'm gonna object, Your Honor, he's already testified it does.
Wait, one more time? That
I'm
he
gonna
said-
object, he's already testified it does accurately reflect something. So the question's been asked and answered.
Do you have any response, Mr. O'Hara? Or do you want to rephrase your question?
I'll rephrase my question. So, based upon the fact that you don't know who prepared that document, and you don't know if it accurately reflects how many turbines are actually around the nature preserve, and you don't know the specific distances of the turbines from the nature preserve, are you comfortable saying that that is a fair and accurate depiction of Bowen Nature Preserve?
I don't think I can say that I know with absolute certainty. I'd say I've measured these turbine distances. We rely on our engineers to specifically locate them within the maps. In general, they're what is consistent throughout the project area, but I can't specifically say whether there's a turbine missing or a turbine that's at a slightly different distance on the document, so I can't say that certainly.
No further question.
Redirect.
May I have a break for
Sure.
brief time?
How about we take 5?
Thank you.
Okay.